Team India destroyed them all. That's the story of the Chess Olympiad in 2024 that's going on now in the beautiful town of Budapest in Hungary. After the 10 out of 11 rounds that have been played so far, India has already secured a win with a great result. They played 9 wins and only 1 draw so far. Yesterday they won a very spectacular and important match against Team USA, in which Adrian Ergaisi in the last game with the white pieces secured a great win in a crazy endgame. A really great performance by Adrian Ergaisi. And what we have to mention, all of the players from Team India are playing really great chess. They played so far 40 games, so in 10 rounds on 4 boards they played 40 games and only 1 loss they have. Yesterday Praggnanandhaa lost the first game for Team India, which is really incredible, immortal performance, and they're still so young. I can see maybe India dominating in the next 10-15 years the chess world for sure. They're so young, they're so talented, and the cool part is they'll probably still improve, and I think no one in the next couple of years really can beat anymore Team India. So we're now in the last round, so it's now a relaxed round where Gukesh now on the first board against Team Slovenia plays against top GM Vladimir Fedoseev. We have to mention also Vladimir Fedoseev in this event won a game against Magnus Carlsen with the black pieces, so Vladimir Fedoseev has really great result also in this event. Let's see now, can Gukesh manage also to win the game against the winner, against Magnus Carlsen. In my opinion, crazy game. The game finished a couple of minutes ago. Really great accelerated London system that we'll see now. So with the white pieces, Vladimir Fedoseev opened with the move d4, knight to f6 by Gukesh. We have bishop to f4, the accelerated London system, d5, e3, and now c6. We have now immediately the idea to somehow put more pressure against this solid setup that white built here with e3 and d4. Knight to f3, knight to c6 here by Gukesh, continuing the pressure. We have knight from b2, d2, and now bishop to g4. The follow-up is, of course, e6 then by Black. Black doesn't want to keep, of course, the light square bishop here inside of the pawn chain, so that's why e6 is then afterwards a good move. The bishop is out, the knights are developed still with bishop to e7 or bishop to d6. You have also great activity, so far good setup here by Gukesh against the London system. c3, Fedoseev builds, of course, this common solid structure, this really beautiful triangle system of pawns here on dark squares. We have now e6 and now queen to a4. We have now the idea here by Fedoseev to get out of the pin here by the light square bishop. He's trying now to continue with knight to e5 and put more pressure against this knight, and also in some lines then afterwards to play bishop to b5. So now there are some tensions around the square c6. We have now knight to d7 by Gukesh, controlling further the e5 square. If the knight hops, of course, then we can capture it immediately. We have now bishop to b5. We have now queen to c8. Here Gukesh connects now the queen to the knight on c6. We have now rook to c1, a theoretical novelty so far by Vladimir Fedoseev. He's, of course, targeting indirectly the queen. If something clears on the c file, then the queen could be in danger. And now after move a6, I would still say a pretty equal position. White can even retreat here to e2, can of course also pick up the knight. Here in this continuation, Vladimir Fedoseev took, which is still a good continuation for white. Nothing wrong so far in white's position too. But now Gukesh plays, I think, a very interesting line, queen to c6, and this is actually the best move. Many of us don't like, of course, to give up the queen in the early stage of the game to trade off queens because then the game is too simplified. But Gukesh noticed that, of course, he has still these problems on light squares where the queen is very dangerous against the king. Still, this threat knight to e5 could have happened. So that's why here, great move, I would say, here by Gukesh, simplifying the game after queen takes c6 and b takes c6. Now Gukesh has great opportunities. First of all, in some lines, if possible, not immediately, of course, because the bishop is there, but if it's possible to get the rook somehow on the b file. And also what's very cool here in Black's position, you still have the opportunity to play something like c takes d4, and then you have also a beautiful follow-up, so you will probably even try to trade off 2 times the pawns on the square c5. So very, I think, flexible game here for Black. Black has many options what to do, and also what's very important to say, still Black has still the beautiful bishop pair on the board. And many times in these types of positions, your bishop is on c8 when it's blocked out by its own pawn. Now you see Gukesh kept the bishop also outside of the pawn chain, has the bishop pair, and I would say is taking over. The engine gives here 0.0 evaluation, but I would love to always play probably this position more from Black's perspective, because still you have, I think, as I said, more attacking chances. Now comes c4, and I'm not going to say this is a mistake or something that Fedoseev is doing. It's an interesting line that, of course, opens now the center, but I think the player that doesn't have the bishop pair should not complicate things, should keep maybe the position more static, more solid, more firm, more positional, I would say. This move c4 creates, of course, immediately some attacking chances. Is creating, of course, an imbalanced game. It's probably also opening the center, and no, you know, when the center is open, then the bishops are much better. I would not say mistake, but very interesting approach, I would say, here by Vladimir Fedoseev. And now Gukesh plays a beautiful f6. He's preparing e5. We have now knight to b3. I would say now first really tiny little inaccuracy here by Fedoseev. Here, I think you have to play something like h3, kick away the bishop, and then castle. And okay, you're fine. b3 you can play, and you keep your chances. You're waiting. If, for instance, Black takes here, then we can take. If Black takes here, then we can also take out with the knight. So you're waiting. I would say this was then the best approach here for White. But after knight to b3, Gukesh realized immediately the possibility of an attack. Knight to b3, you see, now leads into a complicated line for White, because now White's knight is exposed to the attack. Gukesh plays immediately this move, a5, great move. We have now h3, bishop to f5. We have king to e2. Here Fedoseev maybe is calculating that if something clears, if the position gets more and more simplified, that maybe the position could reach the endgame stage very soon, and then you want to, of course, have your king of course, in the center of the board where it's more active. King to e2, also risky choice, which you see now how Gukesh will punish the king in the central position. After king to e2, Gukesh continues with this idea a4 that he started. We have now knight to d2, and I would say here Black is already much better in the position. We have now h5, we have bishop to g3, and now bishop to e7. Now Gukesh is preparing after rook to c3, king to f7, beautiful rook connection. Although Gukesh didn't castle, also I would say White's king is much more endangered, because I can see a scenario where the e file could be opened, and I'm not seeing a scenario where where the f file could have been opened, because if you want to endanger your king, you have to open files. Now I think the king on e2 is much more endangered than Gukesh king on f7. And now Gukesh has the rook connection, has now really a flexible attacking chance. He can basically do whatever he likes, and very I would say easy now to play the position here for Gukesh. We have now rook from h to c1, we have rook to c8, d takes c5, and now a great again move here by Gukesh e5. He's saying, okay, you took the pawn temporarily, just this pawn I don't care about, I'll take it afterwards. First of all, I have to secure a powerful center, and you see now Gukesh has the mobile center, has connected now the pawn e5, d5. He has a flexibility to let them roll in the center of the board. He still has the bishop pair. Beautiful position here for Black. C takes d5, c takes d5. As I said, still the c5 pawn is weak. Gukesh didn't rush here to take it. Fedoseev attacks it, but it doesn't matter. Knight to b6, still this pawn is weak. Gukesh has now a powerful central control. We have now a3. Even if you try, I don't know, something like c7, then a3 would probably happen here by Black. So that's why it's not working. So far a3 is preventing a3 by Black. And now Gukesh plays another beautiful move, rook to a5. He's noticing, of course, the tactical problems here around the square b2. He is going simply for the b2 pawn. Great play here by Gukesh so far. Knight to e1. We have now rook to b5, and now knight to d3. But this is now a mistake by Vladimir Fedoseev, but even b4 or b3 is not a good choice. We'll simply take, and then you can maybe trade something here, but this one is weak. This one will fall, and then as I said, Black continues again with the powerful center here. Knight to d3. A huge mistake by Fedoseev, because now Gukesh plays a beautiful d4, and this is the best move that's also suggested by the top engine. d4 is opening now finally the center, and as I said in the beginning, the king on e2 could be a little bit in danger. Look at this, what happens now, how Gukesh is punishing. in a beautiful way this mistakes by Fedoseev. After move d4, e takes d4, e takes d4, rook to c2. This is pretty much forced, but now rook to e8. This is the great follow-up. Where are you going to go with your king? If you go here, then you're always stuck here. You don't have so many chances to do anything. In the game, knight to f3 was played here by Vladimir Fedoseev, trying to keep everything somehow compact. And here, I think black has many great moves. You can choose whatever you like. For instance, even bishop to a3 is a good move. Even bishop to b4 is a good move, where white is forced then to play king to d1. Then maybe this one is lost. You can take out this one, but then also something would happen on the b file. But here, Gukesh, I think, again played the best way. Here simply continues the attacking flow. He puts more pressure, plays now the beautiful rook to b3, and now there is a huge tension around the square d3, which again forces a reaction here by white. Knight to e1, only move I would say here for white to somehow keep the position connected. And now bishop to b4. This is great stuff. Discovered check, king to f1, and now bishop to e1. If you of course pick up here this piece with the rook, then the knight is hanging, so that's why Fedoseev tried knight to e1, but now the rook is hanging, and here in this beautiful tactical sequence, Gukesh won the exchange and has now, I would say, completely winning endgame. But again, you have to be accurate, and what's most important thing to say, you have to be active again. That's how Gukesh plays the game. d3 keeps simply the attack, always forces white to do something. We have now knight to e3, and after rook to b2, Gukesh grabs another pawn. Fedoseev has maybe these chances with the pawn on the c file, but now here Gukesh plays now calm knight to c8 and is controlling now the whole board. After knight c8, here Fedoseev continued with h4. We have rook to a2, hereby Gukesh simply going for the weakness here, bishop to f4, and now finally grabbing a pawn here. Gukesh created himself now two passers. Really the position is collapsing here for Vladimir Fedoseev. g3, we have rook to b3, clearing of course the path for the pawn. Knight to c4. The good part about this move, knight to c8, that Gukesh played so far, you see, is that he's controlling the movement like knight to b6, also knight to d6, which could be maybe dangerous, and then from that square, of course, the pawn would be supported. So far Gukesh is holding his position. He has here of course a clear advantage with these two passers. We have now rook to e6, knight to d2, rook to b2, rook to c3. Here Fedoseev is going for this pawn, but now Gukesh goes simply rook to a6. Great endgame play also here by Gukesh. If you pick up this one, then this one is rolling, and you will not be able anymore to catch up this pawn on the third rank. So that's why again Fedoseev has to play a passive move. Gukesh continues now with the rook to c2, goes for now this one. We have now knight to e4, and now simple improvement of the king to g6. You see, Gukesh is not even rushing, he's calculating everything in a good way. We have now king to g2, knight to e7, king to f3. Here Fedoseev is trying to go towards the rook here on c2, maybe also attacking the pawn on d3, and now knight to d5 here by Gukesh, simply attacking now finally this only problem I think that he has in this position, the pawn on c7. And here in the continuation we have now knight to c3. Interesting move also by Fedoseev. He is now disconnecting the attack by the rook against this pawn, but here Gukesh found a beautiful endgame tactic. Maybe just for fun, if you want to maybe pause the video and try to see now the winning idea here for white. Gukesh spotted that move immediately and won the game. So what would you do now in this particular position? Okay. Here Gukesh found a beautiful knight takes c7. He sacrificed the knight, but now this pawn is rolling. The bishop is not controlling anymore the square. In order to keep somehow yourself in the game, you have to now play king to e2, but now after rook to e6 here, and king to d1, rook to b2, in this particular position, Vladimir Fedoseev resigned. So what's the issue? Why did Vladimir Fedoseev resign? In order to make something, there is now a huge threat, of course, with a rook to e1 checkmate. You have to now play knight to e2, but then rook to b1. You can pick up this one, but now you run into a really wild tactical sequence. Look at this. After rook to e2, you don't have time to pick up the pawn. That's the issue. If you pick up the pawn on if you pick up the pawn on a4 here, then you get this one, rook to d2, and then rook to c2, and you lose the bishop. So in this sequence, white is losing another piece. Black is continuing the game with an extra rook. Will grab all of this pawn. So here it's of course game over again here for white. So great stuff. Gukesh finished now the whole event without any single lost game, which is really, really crazy. He had now 8 wins and 2 draws on the first board, which is really immortal, incredible performance. We have to also mention India will probably also win now this last match, because Arjun Ergaisi won his also game on the third board. Vidit and Pragananda are still playing, but they're having, I think, equal positions. I think they will not lose their game, so probably this game between Slovenia and India will be finished with a 3-1 result in India's favor, of course. Great performance by Team India, immortal. I'm not sure whenever this happened with such a dominance to play 11 rounds like this, 10 match wins and only 1 draw against Uzbekistan. Congratulations to Team India. Very incredible chess they played in this beautiful Chess Olympiad in 2024. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed a lot. Interesting ideas here by Gukesh against the accelerated London system. In the next couple of days we will cover probably more Gukesh / Ergaisi, Pragananda games, Vidit's games, because I think they were really great. We couldn't cover, of course, all of them, but now in the next couple of days, when everything settles, we will cover the beautiful spectacular games they played in this event. Really, I'm not sure what to say. Gukesh is really the chosen one. I've been told by many of my viewers that in Tamil, Gukesh means the conqueror of the universe, which really fits. His name really fits his playing style in chess. He has now every great possibility to become, of course, the world's youngest world champion in chess history. Now he has gained many rating points. I think in this event he has gained about 30 rating points. Will be soon a part of the 2800 rating club. And look at this, on the first board, 8 wins and 2 draws. I'm not going to say anything. Very incredible performance. We have to, as again mentioned, Vladimir Fedoseev won with the black pieces against Magnus Carlsen. Now Gukesh destroyed really here Fedoseev with great performance. So okay, this will be it for today from the Chess Olympiad. In the next couple of days, as I mentioned, we'll cover more games by Gukesh, by Arjun Ergaisi. If you want to see some other games that we have covered already, check out my coverage. Here are some links of some games that we have analyzed before. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. See you soon with some more videos. And what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.